Alright guys, what is happening? Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to remove and replace the steering wheel in your 5th generation Toyota Supra. Now, if you own another car, don't stop watching, because if you own a BMW, a modern BMW, the theory is exactly the same. The clock spring or the airbag assembly removes exactly the same way in a lot of modern BMWs as it does in the 5th generation Toyota Supra, because quite simply the 5th generation Supra is actually made by BMW and shares an incredible amount of parts from the BMW parts bin. So I'm going to be taking off the aftermarket steering wheel I have in my car because it has LED shift lights and I want to remove those. I'm going to be putting on another aftermarket steering wheel that does not have LED shift lights. So if you do have a standard steering wheel, again, exactly the same process, just the steering wheel you remove is going to look different to the one that I remove. So if you like the content that I put up and you think that learning about cars and how to do a little bit of wrenching on your own vehicle is something that you'd like to know, please consider subscribing down on the button below, press the bell to get notifications, and give me a thumbs up because it just helps the YouTube algorithm. Let's get started. The first step is to disconnect the battery, because we are going to be playing around with airbags, so we need to disconnect the battery. And as I said, this is a Toyota, as you can see, Supra badge. This is a Toyota, but everything's pretty much made by BMW. So if you have a BMW, same thing. Now, I've already loosened this off. You're going to remove the negative terminal, okay? And the reason that you're going to remove the negative terminal and not the positive, all the lights go off there, is quite simply because you don't want a risk of spark. I will say to you, because these modern cars have a electronic boot release, just put something over it, so when you pull it down, it does not actually seal, and you can get back in there later. Alright, so this is the steering wheel that we are going to be removing today, and I'm going to show you how to remove the clock spring on the back of the steering wheel. Okay, so on the side of the steering wheel here, you can see, let me actually get it, there we go. So there is a little line here, right there, right above my fingernail, and that is a divot in the actual steering wheel. Now what we're going to do is puncture that with a flat bit screwdriver and come in it at an angle this way. And then that is going to release the clock spring. We need to do that on both sides, okay? So, all right. So, before we go any further, this is the clock spring. And when you're pushing inside, you're pushing against these springs here, and you can see that, look, it's pretty hard to get to them. You know, you are gonna smash on the plastic a couple of times because you literally cannot see anything, but it clips in at the bottom and at the top as well. So when you're pushing it in, you need to make sure that you're getting the clips out at the top. You think that you need to pull the bottom out because you insert into the steering wheel from down here, but it actually, the main clip that's holding it in is up here in the top. So when you get it out, it'll pop out, and it'll pop out like this if you haven't yet unlocked the top pieces. So you basically just need to keep trying and jiggling it around until you get it, and you can pull it out. And then what we're going to do is disconnect all of these wires. These are literally just push connectors, okay? These are super easy push connectors. You can see here there's a little tab in there. I'm just going to push that in with a sharper end of a screwdriver, and then all of these just pull out. Alright, so a quick update before we go any further. This one here is the easiest to disconnect first. Just literally push down at the top there and it slides out. That gives you more space then to remove this clip here, which just has, you can see in there just above my thumb, just has like a little depression right in there that you got to push in, pull out, and then we'll disconnect this one, and we should be ready to take this off to get the steering wheel out. All right, so you can see all of this is out now, and this is a 16mm bolt, but obviously when you try to undo it, the steering wheel itself is going to turn as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get in the car and I'm going to turn the wheels, the front wheels, all the way over. So when I put my big old breaker bar on, the wheel itself doesn't turn and I can actually undo this. Apologies for always stopping and putting the camera down, but I'm trying to show you guys everything possible. I just have lost my camera stand. Well, I haven't lost it, I broke it. So all right guys, so I've just cracked this off. Before I go any further though, what we have here behind this is a plate with all the sensors on it, and that for things like, you know, your indicators to turn off and that kind of stuff. So I'm gonna turn the wheel back to make sure that I am at center. And the wheels are at center. Because what I don't want to do is take the wheel off and then the backing plate here, which you'll see has all got loads of sensors on it, moves or anything like that when I try and put everything back on, because that's just going to mess up a lot of stuff. So let's get the ratchet on there. Ow, my pee-pee. Oh man. There we go. Well, wrong way. Let me get this off. There's my Celica project car. Better days. Alright. Probably be able to get that off by hand now. Now, I heard of one guy that actually cross-threaded this when he put it in. So be careful when you put it back in that you don't actually do that. And it's a pretty beefy bolt, and you can see there is that green stuff there. Is a little bit of Loctite. So we will do that again. Then all I'm going to do is just shimmy the wheel to get it off. So I'm going to hold on to each side and just shake it back and forth just to kind of shimmy it off the cog that it sits on, and then I'll restart the camera and show you guys what I mean about the backing plate. All right. Whew, guys, this is what I mean about this plate here. I'm getting it off these. Oh, all right. Let's go inside. Change everything over. All right, guys. I'm gonna be straight up honest with you. I am pretty strong. It's not like I don't have average strength, okay? I go to the gym 5-6 times a week. I've been doing it for around about 19, 20 years now, all right? Without blowing my own trumpet, I do have above average strength, okay? So if you don't have above average strength, if you're just kind of like average strength guy, or you know that you're not super strong, you may need a steering wheel puller to get the steering wheel off, okay? I managed to get it off and wriggle it off myself, you know, but as I said, slightly above average strength, okay, over here. Not blowing my own trumpet or anything like that, so please don't accuse me of that. However, just being straight up honest with you guys, if you're not a gym rat and spend a lot of time in your gym lifting weights and doing the heavy iron or being like manual labor or something like that, probably get yourself a steering wheel puller or you're never going to get that wheel off. All right, let's turn the camera around. So what we're going to do is, this is the old one. Our customer's actually bought this because he couldn't afford like a brand new one, and I actually wanted one without the lights. So he asked if I would sell mine secondhand to him. So I've got that. Well, he could afford it, his wife wouldn't let him. So what we need to do is take all of this out, and then you can see here where I've spliced the wires for the steering wheel lights. Okay, I can get rid of that, change that out because I don't need that, and I need the actual wires for the lights to go with the steering wheel to the other guy. This one obviously doesn't have any electronics running through it. So the way that we're going to do that, first thing we're going to do is remove these. Right? And then these covers, as much as you'd like to think not, they actually pry off, okay? It's not like we unscrew them off or anything by the other side. These covers literally do pry off. So please, 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 please be careful while you do that. All right, so once we've removed these here, and these are the stays, right? These sit in here to help keep the clock spring in place, which is, again, the airbag assembly. Once we've got those out, these gently lift out of their little cubby holes, okay? And we can, there we go, press down in there again, right? So see that just above my thumb, press down in there, pull this out, same on the other side, and then we undo this Torx bit and carefully remove this shifter from the other side. So remember, depress, undo Torx bit, carefully remove from the other side. All right, guys, like I said, these literally pry out. So you've got those little clips there just above my thumb, all right, and they sit in these little holes here, one here, one here, one here, and one here, one here, and one here. The easiest way to do it is to get these ones off first and just kind of work your way around really, really slowly so you don't snap it, and then come back around and do these ones. If you can get this piece out first, go for it. Gives you more space. Same one with this one. Once that's in there like that, just gonna get these two out, the top ones, and then gently just wiggle, 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 pry, 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 wiggle, 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 until you get these two bottom ones out here. So this is the wiring for the LED steering wheel, okay? So all of this is like, you know, normal kind of wiring. These ones here is normal for the volume, cruise control, shifters, all that kind of stuff. But this black wire here is the one for the LED shift lights, okay? So you're gonna get the earth. If you are putting in the LED shift lights, you're gonna get the earth, you're gonna bring it down, connect it down here on the earth for the steering wheel vibrator, which is the one that vibrates, you know, like lane departure. And then you're gonna get the blue wire, which comes standard in this steering wheel, and the red one. You're gonna connect those together, right? And then you're gonna splice it into the green wire, green and white wire in your steering wheel loom, okay? In your steering wheel loom, because that will power the lights. But I'm gonna have to remove this because I'm putting in a steering wheel without lights. So I'm gonna get to work and do that. You guys don't need to see that. If you're here doing this, changing the steering wheel over, you pretty much should already know what you're doing with that kind of stuff. If you have no idea what you're doing with this kind of stuff, should not be doing this, but yeah. I'm gonna remove all that and swap it all over into this one. All right, so we're gonna put everything back from here now. Everything's out into this one, and we're gonna do it in the order it all came out, okay? So this is the module that controls the motor for the vibration unit in the steering wheel, and it goes this way, writing at the top, and you can see it has two little clips on the bottom. And if you come over to the steering wheel, you can see that it has a little clip down there and a little one down there as well. So that literally pushes in there, pushes all the way in. Let's push that in. Yep, clicked in place. And then this is the motor here, sits this way, like this, and this connection goes down in here. That would have actually been easier to sit in before I actually put that in there, thinking about it now, but we got it. There we go, in place. Yep, there we go. Clicked in place. And then we have this wiring loom here for the steering wheel. It's pretty all self-explanatory where it goes, right? Yeah? So this is the ground for the steering wheel. This one sits up in here. Let's plug that in. Like that. Done. And then all of this pushes in like so. Super, super, super easy. And then we have this one for the back of these controls here. All right. There. All right, so here we go, ready now for the shifters to go in. I know that I took the shifters out first, but before I put this in, it's gonna be so much easier to put the shifters in first because I need to connect them up here. So the way that happens is you literally feed that through the other side, clip it on, screw it in, and you literally are good to go, ready to speed off down the road. Downshifting, yeah. Right, so we are almost there. All we have to do now is put these in here. We have 3 of these, as we spoke about earlier. These help hold the clock spring in place. And you'll notice that they actually push into the steering wheel. Okay, so they actually need to push all the way down. And then with these little silver screws, Torx bit ones, you can secure them in place. So I'm gonna go ahead, push those down, and then screw those in with my little Torx bit attachment here. Worth noting that this is the same size Torx bit for those shifters and for the control for the vibration unit underneath the steering wheel as well. So pretty handy, don't need a lot of tools to do this job. All right, guys, so it literally is that easy to do this job. So let's go back off to the car now and fit it back in. All right, so as we put this on now, remember not to move this, all right? You may want to clean this off a little bit before you put it back on. Whoa, almost got fucking, yeah, mind your language on YouTube, Simon. Almost fucked that up. Yep, so I'm gonna push that on, reconnect those up, and then bolt it up with this here. I'm going to show you guys lining it up. There is a groove down here, all right, that it all lines up with. And if I just gently take that off, you can see it there as well, that it lines up. So you can't put it on like this by accident, all right? Let me zoom out for a sec, yeah. So you can't accidentally put it on like that. If you do, you're going to force it on and you will literally never get it off. All right, so that slid straight on. Was pretty freaky how it slid straight on. So we're just going to get this connector and then push that home. Click. Yep, that one there. All right, so once all this is plugged in, this one goes into the white on the clock spring there, and then this black connector goes back in up here. But before you put that in, you want to make sure that you screw everything in there nice and tight. So I'm going to get amongst it and do that. And then I'm going to connect these, line the airbag up, and then press it in. And I'm going to video that so you guys can hear it as I press the clock spring back into place, and then turn the car on and check that everything works. All right, so that is all in now. What we do is just line the airbag up, everything sits in, and then you just pushes into place. Let's reconnect the battery and make sure everything still works. All connected back up now. Let's go and have a look. I'm going to start the car. Toyota Supra. Yeah. I want the radio on. Yeah. Yep, cool. That works. And you can see moving these. Everything works. I would say, whoop, job well done.